Welcome everybody. This is your host Uriah Blaak for the Uriah Blaak Uncut podcast. You be you, where you always can be you. I got a couple of topics to talk about today, you know what I'm saying? Just keeping it real as possible. I'm here, of course, in my living room. I have to say enough respect to my homies that are doing the filming right now and just catching me at my time coming off of work, and I'm gonna explain some things to you. We're gonna laugh, we're gonna talk shit. I might make you angry. You know, it's all real, so who gives a shit? So let's just talk about what Uriah Blaak Uncut is. This podcast is about any and everything. Sometimes I get questions as to why or what I'm doing and what's going to be, the content. Sometimes it's going to be off the cut. Sometimes it's going to be live. Sometimes it's going to be even, recorded. It doesn't matter, but we're going to have fun. We're going to hear music. We're going to chill. You see this big ass couch right here? It's going to be filled with probably guests of all kinds and all types. We might have debates. We're going to have a sharing of ideas. But most of all, it's really just to get us motivated to look at the other side of things sometime. Because sometimes as society goes, we can be a little bit narrow-minded and sometimes tunnel vision. I mean, in some cases it's good. And in a lot of cases it can be a bad thing. As we have like a lot of racial tensions going on, we got to sometimes have a little positive in this whole sea of negativity, because we all still floating in this one damn ball in the middle of nothingness. So we can't really rule it. We just live on it till it kills us. You know what I'm saying? Or we go back to it. So, yeah, man. So today we're going to talk about a few things. I got, everybody knows me. If you don't know who I am, I would like to welcome you to the podcast and welcome you to me. I would like to just let you guys know that I try to be as unbiased as possible. I try to be as truthful as possible. And you can't please everyone, but at least you can just credit me for my realness. One thing I like to say is that, on my Facebook, I'm always posting a lot of things that's for the betterment of somebody, or maybe a thought that you forgot about, or maybe a thought of something that you need to be reminded of to get you through the day, to get you through that relationship, to get you through that bad friendship, to get you through work, to get you just through life. That's my main thing, because I've been through so many things in life where it made me stronger, and you learn every day. You learn every fucking day of your life. Learning, it never changes. So never always think that you know everything. But sometimes when you don't know everything, it allows you to be open to everything. So first thing I like to get a little gripe out. As you know, on my Facebook, sometimes I can be controversial. Sometimes I can be helpful. A lot of times it's really from the heart. It's not really to specifically talk about people. And anybody in the audience, I know you can attest to that. Anybody, when you put a post up, you always have that person maybe that you didn't even expect that's just negative on your stuff. They totally took your whole post and went left with it. And bring people with it. And starts these little Facebook wars or Instagram wars, Twitter wars, all these beefs that people like to have on these social media platforms. Sometimes the shit is just ridiculous because it just took one person to just listen sometime and reread what the post is. But on my post, sometimes I guess some people are not really used to whatever, but I try to do an experiment a lot with everybody that's on my social media platforms. Sometimes I post ignorant things. Sometimes I post shock value. Might post a few killings or murders or beatings or things that are real. But what kills me sometimes is that I can post all of those things that should be impacting, that should bring a conversation and debate into a high mentality or a better realm for us to better each other or understand the things that we do. Sometimes your point gets lost. You know what I mean? Like, one thing I like to say is that sometimes I post a lot of positive things and it won't get that many likes or views or whatnot, because I'm not posting it for that. I'm posting it for the persons that really, really get that pill to make them feel empowered by what they may have thought that they might be alone at thinking. It's funny. I might post things that are old. I might post things that had already passed, but we do need to still talk about it. Just because things may blow by in the media real quick and it's just hot, I think that everybody goes too much for the hot things and they forget about that shit's still left on the stove, And that brings me to just talk about like Facebook posts of who loves negative posts versus the ones who ignore positive posts. And I know we know it. You can go on a YouTube or Instagram and you see a whole lot of twerking. I ain't gonna lie. I watch the twerk, and they could be in a headstand and everything. I'm with it like, yo, I don't mind it. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind it. And then, you go, you flip it, and then all of a sudden you get somebody talking about the value of life is to just think and be different or blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, man. But sometimes we got to chill on the twerking a little bit and listen to what that mundane shit is, because sometimes at the end of the day, when you're going through life, twerking gets your ass in trouble. Twerking can make you pay some bills, you know what I'm saying? All the way, for 18 years or more. That twerking gets your ass in trouble. But at the same time, sometimes those pills or those logics help us become something that we need to become, or try to motivate us sometimes. So pay attention to everything that is also positive. Don't just go for shock value. I know we got World Star, you know what I'm saying? I love World Star. I love all of that. But sometimes come down to earth sometimes. A lot of people in these profiles, I don't even need to be descriptive, but everybody is so-called laid back, you know what I'm saying? But laid back is like the new ratchet nowadays. Everybody's cool, calm, and collected, but it's really ratchet all the time. We don't have no chill. And we don't have no chill. Sometimes we do need to chill a little bit. But I'm not being preachy, but I'm just being truthful. And it also brings it right around to, like, if you are a star and if you have influence and you got the soapbox, you got the platform, sometimes you got to learn how to do more with it, and one thing I cannot deny, I am a black man. I will never deny my color. I will never deny my race. But I love my heritage. I love everybody. But at the same time, you'll be crazy to think that your life is different if you are not or are black. Let me tell you, there is a difference in our life. There is a difference in our struggle per day. So sometimes, no matter how much we might get up there, sometimes you have to realize that sometimes there's a ceiling that you got to bust through. Not even for the man. Sometimes it's even for our own people. That brings me into the first thing. I know it was a little controversial, so I'm going to be a little careful with this one. The first thing that I have is about Kanye West with the slavery is a choice. When it comes to, as you guys seen, I don't know, well, a lot of people are not on my Facebook. I did do a couple of things. I did speak on my Facebook about that. But I said it to a point where it's not really to be negative towards Kanye at all. It's really about just being, look, not everybody who's famous should be your idol. Sometimes your idol is your best friend. Sometimes your idol should be your family member. Sometimes your idol should be you. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn how to be a leader and not always just follow for the shock value or shock statement. Now, he did make a statement that he walked back on it a little bit in regards to slavery as a choice. And part of me feels him on that statement. The other part of me doesn't. The other part of me that doesn't, let me explain. Back in the day, it took us a long time before we realized how free we were. Okay, even down in this age, we still have atrocities that we have to go through that's kind of fashionable, and it might make it look like, there's a lot of freedom still or equality going on, but there's still those bad apples of racism from those that the shoe fits. You feel me? So at the same time, when it comes to that slavery is a choice, back then we really didn't have no choices. They came and grabbed us off those ships, bro. They had every type of thing that you can love. They had every type of fabric, and everything was presented well at first. And then came the guns. Then came the cannons. Then came the muskets. Then came the knives and every type of thing that we didn't have. We had spears and rocks, nigga. What can we do with spears and rocks to guns? You know what I mean? And then when we were brought to the Caribbean, you had whips and more guns. You know what I'm saying? And then out of the Caribbean to Americas, you had whips and more guns, and now we have nooses. If you even made it, So there was a long journey that the 400 years of the slavery and slave mentality that had taken set upon our ancestors, whether you believe your ancestors or not, but that's another story. But there's a reason as to why the mentality had stuck then. Yes, there was force behind the choice. You can choose to be whipped and worked, or you can choose to die. So a lot of people became complicit because they didn't want to die. A lot of people, if they found themselves where a woman found herself, a black woman that found herself, or a slave found herself, that they can actually keep their kid with them, and if they just act like they with the program, even though they don't like it, their mind is on their kid. They're choosing the kid's life for theirs, because if they did go and revolt against their slave owners, the kid probably is going to be sold separately, going to Texas while mom's in Florida, and pops get sold and go to South Carolina. You never know where your family's going to be. So survival was on their mind more or less than the choice of whether they want to be a slave or not. If we had a choice and we knew that we wasn't going to get beat or anything, we probably would have been freed a long time ago. We probably would have been more industrious a long time ago. But as you saw, we couldn't read. Every type of movement that we tried to get to go forth to become something, it was always interrupted by violence, or was always interrupted or stopped by ignorance, or fear. Because just because a person's racist doesn't mean that they're not afraid of you. Sometimes the racism comes from their fear of what you can become, because they already seen what you had already made out of nothing. So that's why we should always be proud of who we are, because for little or nothing, we always persevered through everything. So when it came to slavery, it's not a choice. He should have really been more expanded upon his statement and realized the impact of his words was going to cause all this windfall atrocity. I mean, I go on Facebook, I go on every type of social media platform, and everybody's arguing. And it's funny because you have these first-time people that just got on social media, and they now scholars, history scholars. They now know every motherfucking thing. Sorry about my language, but I'm being real about it. You know every single thing about this topic that you heard yesterday. Do your research first. Don't just be somebody who repeats what you hear, because it's almost like when people repeat a song and, the hook sounded hot, so I'm going to keep on repeating the hook. Stop it, bro. Just get into the words, get into it, and really, really study before you speak. Now, I ain't trying to say that I'm the smartest apple or the brightest, whatever, the sharpest knife in the freaking cupboard. But I'm going to tell you one thing, I ain't dull. Because I take my time and listen, and I take my time and look, and experience have taught me a lot. So, yes, I love you, Kanye. But anytime you bring an issue that's for your people, you got to think about how your people is going to receive it, because one size doesn't fit all when it comes to us, because many of us are actually well-to-do. Many of us are actually trying to come out of that stereotype and that stain, not only for the other people, the other ethnic groups, but also for ourselves, because sometimes we have ourselves so segmented in our own blackness that we barely wear the blackness with pride. And believe me, if white viewers, I'm not talking about you or anything like that. Please don't think when I talk about any type of racism, it's for racists. You're not a racist, and you're welcome to provide input. I will give you my email address that anybody wants to go ahead and send in questions as well, and we can have a discussion every week. Every week I'm going to be filming my podcast and episodes. It's going to be at 8 o'clock, preferably 8 o'clock on Fridays, 8 to 9, whether it be an hour or less, because sometimes you don't need to talk too much to get your point across, but a discussion is always warranted. But anyways, that's how I feel about the Kanye situation. I think, he should have just took his time out, probably pull some leaders with him, and see what everybody's doing in the hoods, because there's a lot of teachers, there's a lot of black teachers out there, there's a lot of black leaders that do not get on the media. and another thing, just because it's not in the media doesn't mean it's not happening. I think a lot of people have gotten so dependent upon what the media coverage is of things that they don't actually look. I think the reason why also people got so fooled, or everybody's talking about the Russia thing and with Russia putting up phony ads and all that. Do you know why another country can come up and put in phony ads for us to believe it? It's because we believe shit without looking, or because it just looks believable. You don't even check your resources, check your sources. And I think that's the reason why media is getting such a bad rap right now, because the media goes for ratings and goes for shock value. At the end of the day, we do the same thing. We follow it. We enhance it. The more we just like when it goes to what I was saying on Facebook, when it comes to me putting a positive post or a negative post, a person who gets shot or killed or whatever gets more play than the persons that's talking about how to motivate you to be something that's going to be well beyond what you just watched. The media now has watched that same trend and become sensational. So everything's sensationalized. Everything on channel, even if you go to your local news network and you play the news, everything's negative. You know why? Because that is what brings ratings. That's what you pay attention to. You don't pay attention to anything else but, oh my God, that story. Oh my God. You know, everybody's now, oh my God. It's shock value. You know, don't fall for the hype. Look, use your brain sometimes. Use your brain. Everybody, use your brain sometimes. Notice if you do have a platform, use it to the best of your ability, because sometimes you have only one time to make that impression, and it lasts a lifetime in a person's life. Anything you say, you know, you can control somebody's sobriety. You could control sometimes somebody's thought process to go and do a mass shooting, just like a lot of these mass shootings that's going on right now. You never know. If they've never really been pushed to see it, they probably wouldn't do it. Who knows? There's nobody watching people who need help. It's just we just continue to be inundated with negativity. We get so used to it that even, you know, that's what becomes a reality for many. So again, be mindful of what you say and be mindful to learn about your subject matter before you argue or debate about it. And when you do argue and debate about it, stop and listen sometimes and then speak. Because sometimes we both have the same points, just a different way and different delivery. So that's all I have to say when it comes to the Kanye West thing. Much love for him being an artist. That's a brother that's always been outstanding on every type of level, lyrically and producer-wise. But we all are not perfect. So he made a statement. Of course, the media ran with that statement. So, of course, that caused more infighting with us, which we should have watched, you know, a little bit more of the coverage, like TMZ, when he and the guy had a discussion that didn't agree with everything that he was saying. But that is exactly how we as a people should be speaking, just like that. Because even though it could have been a worse situation, they could have gotten into a brawl or altercation, they still was able to be mature enough to have a conversation and a resolution. And that's all I have to say about that. That's what I have to say about that one. The next thing is, be careful of who you befriend sometimes. I'm going to say it again. Be careful of who you call friends. I don't care whatever you think. There's always some type of red flag, whether it's a little flag that's on a toothpick in your glass or a big one on a flagpole waving like the American flag. There's always some type of red flag that you got to watch. You know, this leads me to Kevin Hart. All right, man, let me tell you something. Be careful and watch for every sign of a flag that you receive when you become friends with somebody, or even lifelong. Sometimes, I'm sorry to say this, sometimes people change when they see you're moving in a different direction. Sometimes people wonder, you know, people want to trip you up because they're jealous or have any type of envy in where you're going. So that leads me to talk about Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart, man, I feel for you, bro. I really honestly do, because let me tell you something. In these last few years, let me say this last 10 years was the realest experience of me to know exactly who my friends are, bro. You know, I've been through hardships. I've been through family issues. I've been through monetary issues. I've been through, you know, depression. I've been through every type of things. I'm keeping it real with you, because if I don't keep it real with you, then it's just going to be a show. And this is not about a show for ratings. This is not about a show to be a star. This is about trying to make you a star. You know what I mean? It's about you and what we deal with. The second thing, when it comes to being friends, you have to be mindful of the flags that you might see. Red flags. You know, it can be as small as like I said, it could be as small as a flag on a toothpick in a drink. It can be as big as a flag on the flagpole, like the American flag, just waving. But you gotta realize that when you are going somewhere in life, there's gonna be people that go with you, and there's gonna be people that is just there for the ride. And notice how I said that. There's people that's gonna go with you, and there's people that's there for the ride. You know, it's just like the saying goes: some people would be with you for a reason, or for a season, or forever. It's the same thing. But when you have any type of star-studdedness, when you are getting some type of monetary increase, when you got a new car even, when it look like you got a new apartment, it look like you balling, watch your friend count. If you get cuter on Facebook or on Instagram, or you put another shot, a little angle or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? Test it out. Let me tell you something. Don't act like y'all don't get on no dating sites. Don't act like y'all don't know nothing about dating sites. Don't act like you don't know, Match.com. Don't act like, and I ain't going to name all the rest of them because there's a whole lot on either side of the street you driving on. I'm just telling you that anytime when you get on those things, I'm telling you, if you don't have you have a faceless profile, you're automatically ugly, right? But when you have a face profile and you look some type trendy, everybody's in your box, ain't it? Everything goes down in those DMs. That song was right. Because it goes down in your DMs when they think you're hot. You want to see how a friend is real with you? When you have an issue or you need to be heard or listened to, that's when you see who your real friends are. When you don't have nothing going on and they come to visit you during just because they thought about you, then you know you got a friend. Kevin Hart, man. We all seen the cheating thing going on with his pregnant wife at the time. I always thought to myself, like, there are a lot of stars, like, you got to work hard to catch them doing anything, right? That person, when they caught him, did it look like they had a problem really catching Kevin? Like, how the fuck you gonna be at the back of a hotel or the side or whatever, out in the open, chilling in the back seat if somebody didn't know you was there? You know, everything was a setup a little too perfect. Now look at where we at. His friend, 15 years, then gone to his bachelor party, I believe. Then been friends with him on a couple of things. They even played with him on a couple of shows. You know what I'm saying? So he went ahead and was like, yo, you know, the last person he would probably thought it was his homeboy. But who's in jail right now, y'all? His homeboy. I don't even know his name because guess what? Non-factors are non-factors. I don't even need to know it. But at the same time, he set that whole thing up, bro. He set it up. That's terrible. You know what I'm saying? And then try to extort money out of him. Like it wasn't like money always has a trace. And wherever, if it's picked up and it ends up in somebody's hand, it's always going to be a trace sooner or later. And look at where it traced back to. His own homeboy. That's sad. That's really sad. So it's funny, but money doesn't buy you genuine friends. It doesn't buy you class either. But at the same time, you need to watch your ass with the money that you have. And you got to watch. Sometimes you got to keep certain things quiet. Don't tell everybody your plans. Stop, bro. Let me tell you something. Why you think, and I'm talking about white and black, Spanish or whatever. We all have a part of our ethnicities that as soon as we start bragging and shining about something, you set yourself up to be robbed, shot, lied upon, cheated, played, whatever, because you think you're invincible when you get there. You think nobody's gonna do nothing. You gotta be dumb to be doing something. Let me tell you something. There's a lot of dumb ass people out there that don't give a damn about your life other than what they can get out of it, bro. That's all. They don't care about nothing but what they can get from you. So when you know that you have a ride or die, you make sure that the shocks in your car in the car of friendship ain't busted. Make sure the tailpipe ain't rusted. Make sure the fucking back seat ain't ripped. Because when you don't pay attention, the rip gets bigger, the shocks bottom out, and the tailpipe fall off. You got a jalopy. Ain't no friendship. So again, I'm telling you this, bro. If you have a platform, be smart, be mindful. If you don't have a platform, if you just going to school and you the first one out of your group of friends that's going to school and you trying to get yourself through, get yourself through. If your friend is getting in the way, you have to put your friend on the burner, boy. Back burner. Back there. Straight like that. Back there. Because your life counts for yourself. You got to make something for yourself. Some of us have families that is just depending on what we do getting through school or to be somebody. My goal is to be able to pay all my parents' bills. That's my main thing. Pay all their bills so they can live out the rest of their life happy and not worry about a damn thing else. Live in a house without no mortgage, you don't have to worry about a damn thing because they worked all their life to put me where I am, to make sure that I grew up right. You see all these fat rolls on me? That means that mom cooked good. You hear me? And she passed it on, so I cook good. So if I didn't have to have any of the skills or the know-how to know that you got to make something out of nothing, and even if you're nothing, you still something, that is the teaching that I got myself going. And that's why I achieved through this day. And I'm telling you, when you are on the path of achieving or achievement, you're going to lose some people in your life. You're going to lose some friends, so you have to get used to it, because the real is unshaken. The real is your pillar, is your foundation. But when the fake is, as soon as you get serious or change your mind to doing something that's meaningful, bro, watch what they do. And it'll tell you every time. But like Maya Angelou said, if a person shows you who they are, believe them, bro. Believe it. Don't take no chances and be like, you know what, it was just crazy that one time. You know, they just did it that one time. No. What happened once, what happened twice, what happened 3 times, and by the third time, you don't know, your life could be over. So sometimes you got to learn from the first inkling, and dead it. Move on. Because that leaves a place for a real one. And just like I said, even relationships, bro. And I'm going to pause and stare at y'all for a second. Even relationships, men and women, relationships, bro. Watch what relationships you get into. Sometimes just all that looks well ain't well. All that freaks well ain't well. In many ways than one. But I'm going to leave that for the next show. Because I ain't done with y'all with that one yet. That's a whole nother segment. Can go on hours on that one. But I ain't going to go there on that one now. But this leads me to the accolades part of the show. I'm going to go ahead and, start closing it out a little bit. But a couple of things. When it comes to the music, the debate of mumble rap and the debate of conscious hip hop, I really don't think there should be a debate. I just think there should be lanes that just need to be respected amongst amongst the two. Because not for nothing, it does take a little bit of talent to even be able to rhyme on a beat. Because some people don't even know how to stay on beat, on key, on rhythm, on tone. There's so much involved when it comes to it. So if somebody can mumble to a beat on time, I gotta give them their accolades. But you gotta realize that some of the trap beats don't be right though. Some of the beats be right. That's what hooks. That's the first hook. So sometimes the person mumbling is just kind of like another instrument when it comes to being on a beat. So I think the debate should just be, it's hard for the younger generation to understand the conscious rap because they have to go through their mumble rap stage to be able to get to their conscious rap. Look how long it took Jay-Z to get around to the 444. Look how long it took Mos Def to be metaphorically inclined to speak of atrocities and people and being positive and motivated. Look how much time it took Common to go through a rough past to come out to be a poet as he is. These are the things that makes the person. So sometimes hearing it is not experiencing it. So I do recant on a lot of things that I used to say about mumble rapping and mumble rappers and all that type of stuff, because sometimes it's the life that they live is all they know, and that's what they do, and everybody in their lane understands them. So I'm not gonna phase on them. But conscious rappers also, younger rappers, don't shine on them. Don't call people old and washed up and all that type of stuff, because they're really not. You know what I'm saying? Because lyrically they do run circles, but at the same time, pay attention, because you learn a lot from your elders. And it's not about trying to put you in a little kid category, but age does matter. No matter how much you think that you young and you know everything, bruh, it just takes one day to take it all away and you learn nothing. And you know that you learn nothing, and that feels bad. So I just say, everybody, just respect each other's hustle and keep it going. If you want to combine the hustle, then we make a bag together. You feel me? Like, I got to give accolades to Cardi B. Cardi B, I had my little disdain for her in the beginning, but to tell you the truth, I like Cardi B because of Cardi B being Cardi B. She knows she doesn't rap perfect. She knows she may, go over lyrics because somebody may write it for her. Who cares? People are in entertainment. There's gonna be ghostwriters, whether you like it or not. Not everybody who is rapping or singing sung a song that they wrote. Because that's why songwriters get play. That's why songwriters have jobs, because that's what they're doing. That's what makes them money. So if a person if I can't present something real well, then that means that artist that I know that can present my flavor good, they gonna do it. So hey, I'll let them do it and make me a bag. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Who got a problem with that? Anybody got a problem with that? Y'all got a problem with it? Y'all ain't got no problem with it. You know what I'm saying? It don't make any sense. So why is everybody having this debate? Yeah, she don't write her songs, and niggas, y'all don't write your songs. I mean, behind the veil, depending on the contract, you can either talk about who written your songs or not. So you're supposed to contractually say that you did write it. You're supposed to contractually say that you did perform it and it's yours, because you are making the bag from it too. So at the end of the day, what's the debate? That's another lane that's retarded. So I just thought I'd throw that in there. And lastly, I gotta give for a person who is a young person with an old flavor of metaphor and realness, I gotta give J. Cole his props for his KOD album, bro. I gotta give him his props for his KOD album. The things that he says in all and every song, I ain't gonna get into it because my time is running out. But I would say listen to his album before you down him. Listen to his album before you down him. Listen to Cardi B album before you down him. You know what I'm saying? Just listen to what's being said on J. Cole's new album, KOD. I gotta give him his props. Shit is right. And I was really surprised of it. Really surprised. But like I said, everybody, I hope I was able to hit a lot of points with you. I hope I was able to stir a little bit of thought with you, because there's gonna be a lot more coming. I would like to thank you. This is more or less my introduction to you in a little piece, not even a little iota of what's going to be to come of this podcast. Uriah Blaak Podcast is always going to be uncut, always going to be real, and anybody who's going to come and sit on this couch or anything is always going to be themselves. Much love to anybody who tuned in. If you want to check me out, please make sure, if you have any questions for a next show or segment that you want me to bring up, or interviews or any type of collaborations, let me know. What's up, everybody? I am Uriah Blaak, your host for the Uriah Blaak Uncut Podcast. That is You Be You, where you can always be you. Check me out on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever platform, I'm always there. But guess what? If you have a question or anything that needs to be answered, or you have a show idea for me, let me know. Just go ahead and send an email to uriahblaak@gmail.com. That's UriahBlaak@gmail.com. And also, the website is uriahblaak.com. Hit me up. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, YouTube.com/Uriah Blaak. Please hit me up so I can be live with you. Peace out.